So the Omni basically is a summary of BAT's progress on its journey to building a better tomorrow and building a smokeless world. In essence, it's a compendium of tobacco harm reduction information, and it will serve as a reference and a repository for scientists, for regulators, for public health policy makers, for investors, for investigators, to really understand and learn more about tobacco harm reduction, but gives an insight into our corporate and scientific strategy. Within the Omni, you can find a lot of the science that BAT has generated over the years in support of the reduced risk profile of smokeless tobacco and nicotine products, as well as the evidence base that has been created over the last decade from independent resources, but also a number of the big questions that are facing BAT and the industry in tobacco harm reduction. Tobacco harm reduction is basically a simple equation of providing smokers who use combustible products with satisfying reduced risk profile smokeless tobacco and nicotine products. So they need to be satisfying to an adult smoker. So this includes having the sensorial aspects, which includes tobacco and or nicotine, but also the flavors that are associated to enable smokers to migrate from smoking cigarettes to these novel smokeless tobacco and nicotine products. But we also need to ensure that these smokers are aware of the products in existence so that we can maximize the switching of as many of these smokers as possible to these products. And in order to do this, we need to ensure that there is a change in consumer behavior, so that the consumers really understand that these products exist, and we can really encourage more smokers, adult smokers, to migrate to these smokeless tobacco and nicotine products. We need to see changes in the regulatory and public health environment. So we need to start to see policies that really include tobacco harm reduction initiatives into their policies moving forward. We really need to have a balanced view on tobacco harm reduction. So we really need to enable the tobacco harm reduction education and information to our consumers, but also to all stakeholders, so that they're equally informed of the public health benefits of tobacco harm reduction, but also to really understand the reduced risk profile of these smokeless products compared to conventional tobacco products. We also need to ensure that we can open and have accessibility to markets that currently are restricted for all of these products, again, to build up the consumer awareness and acceptability of these products. That's a really, really great question, where BAT is heading with our current products and our THR journey. It's really part of our corporate purpose. It's building a better tomorrow, creating a better tomorrow, and building a smokeless world. We want to reduce the health impact of our business, and we can only do this by encouraging adult smokers to transition and move away from using combustible products and using these smokeless tobacco and nicotine products. We have a number of key milestones, and they're very ambitious milestones. We hope that by 2030 that we have over 50 million consumers using our smokeless tobacco and nicotine products. And by 2035, we hope that 50% of our revenue will come from our smokeless nicotine and tobacco products.